But at the same time, I want to run out of here and not say a word and be like, let's just keep doing it the way we've been doing it. Nobody needs to know nothing.
She definitely went straight in with no lube, didn't she? Haven't even sat down and had a sip of me drink, love.
Joanne is clueless to the trauma that she's brewing in her kids. And I'm just like, isn't this lady a life coach? If I were one of her clients watching this, I would rethink any piece of advice she gave me because she's doing a good job at blowing up her own life. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back to Nikki Faces Reality. We are here to discuss 90 Day Fiance The Other Way, specifically Joanne and Sean. Joanne and Sean, you guys. I wanted to like them. I was rooting for them. And I am still rooting for them. But the way that they're handling the situation is not great. A quick snapshot on this couple. They met online. They hit it off. And they decided to get married 2 years ago, which is great, right? We love a single mom finding love again, a single dad finding love again, finding their person at any age. I love that. I will always champion that, specifically for women because you know, women are expected to be so many things. So I'm all for you making something happen for yourself. However, y'all are single parents, meaning there are little people involved that are affected by your every move. And not only are they affected by this, but they're also in the dark. Yeah, these two have not told anyone that they are married, including their kiddos. So her elaborate idea is to bring them over to Ireland, have them fall in love with Sean just like she did. So she thinks that them hitting it off will lighten the blow of her betrayal because that is what that is. And on top of that, she's also holding another secret that she is interested in moving to Ireland. Her boys are 12 and 18. I don't care if 18 is the legal age. He still needs his mother. That is still very young. The 12-year-old, obviously, right? But she shares custody with their dad. Makes sense. Love that. They have two loving parents. They still need their mother. And it's clear that she didn't have them in mind when she was making this decision. She's just focused on her man. And I get that. And again, I want her to have love. I want her to have the relationship that she wants. But before he arrived to her life, she already had these two little boys that need her. And her job is not done. So I have very mixed feelings about this couple because of that. So in this trip to Ireland, she's looking to come clean, not only about their marriage, but also feel them out on what their reaction would be like if she's like, hey, I'm going to move to Ireland. Because in her brain, she can move to Ireland, be with Sean, and then come like every other month or something to New York to visit her sons. And my theory is that even if they agree to it, they're going to resent her. Like, I just don't see how you wouldn't feel abandoned. And I would feel it that way whether it was the mom or the dad. Like, you need your parents, and it's really hard to feel rejected and to not feel chosen. And it cuts deeper when it's your parent. And we finally get to the episode where she tells them. So we're going to get into that. Before we do, as always, make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you're new here. I make commentary on 90 Day Fiance shows. I also make commentary when it's on Love is Blind US. So definitely subscribe if that's your thing. We can yap about this all day long. For my current subscribers, thank you guys so much for your patience with these videos. I did start a new role in my job and my schedule is completely different. So I have to figure out when I can film, when I can edit and still get it to you guys in a timely fashion. But I'm still going to stick with it and get you these videos. So do just hold on with me while I figure it out. But let's get into this mess, okay? So as you guys recall, Sean rented out this cottage for them because he lives with his mom, so he can't host everyone. So when we drop in, we immediately see the kiddos bonding, playing video games, which is very sweet, but they have no idea that they're playing with their step-sibling. When it hits them, I would love to be a fly on the wall in their conversation. But it looks like the adults are heading out to town. So it is Joanne, Sean, and her best friend who's on the trip, Noelle. They're going to go out to a pub and they're leaving 18-year-old Joey, Joanne's oldest son, in charge. And so the purpose of this is to get Noelle to get to know Sean and ask her questions because this is Joanne's best friend. And again, I can't imagine leaving my friend out of this huge secret. Like, I'm just thinking about my own best friends, and they would be the first people to know anything, probably before my family. So it's just crazy that even Noelle is in the dark. But Sean goes off to get their drinks, and immediately Joanne is like, be nice. We still have a week together. And like, touche. But I love that Noelle was like, yeah, I know. That's why I ordered white wine. Like, I just love the idea of white wine being her chill beverage. Like, she's gonna keep the peace. And again, I'm like preemptively heartbroken for Noelle because she's being so protective over Joanne. And I would be too. And I think many of you would be as well. And it's just gonna hurt when she knows the truth. It honestly may hit her harder than the kids, like in the initial impact. But Sean comes back and she expresses her concerns. She's like, listen, like, it feels sudden. We don't really know much about you. And my friend has been through a lot and she's built herself up personally and professionally. And we would hate to see that being taken away, which, right. I'm glad that she said that it's more than just an emotional, like, oh, we don't know anything about you. You're her little secret. But also, it sounds like you don't have a job. So is she, depleting her account that could be going to her kids to you? Like, there's a lot happening. But her next question is, so what are your intentions? Where do you see this going? Babe, they've arrived. They're married. But again, she has no idea. I think that a person in their right mind would probably take this opportunity to break the ice because it's awkward and just tell her friend the secret. Now that you have her one-on-one with your partner, just tell her. But Joanne is not in her right mind, okay? And instead she deflects and is like, we're, doing what people in a serious relationship do. And she's talking in circles and it's so weird the way that they're talking. They're both just lying to her face. So Sean says that his intention is to have everyone under the same roof. And Noelle is like, what roof? Because you live in Ireland. Are you coming to visit? Like, what's going on? Because in her brain, there is just no way that her friend would leave to Ireland. She has way too many people that depend on her and that, hold her close in Long Island. So, like, there's no way. And also, there's no way that my friend would be planning to move to Ireland without talking to me. So what roof are you talking about? So Sean is taken aback by her directness, and I call BS. Every Irish person that I have met has been a straight shooter. So I don't think the problem is that she's being direct. I think the problem is that she's calling him out. And she has no idea that she's calling him out. But he is guilty AF. And so is Joanne. Because Joanne is literally losing the color from her face. And she just keeps like fidgeting. And when his one-on-one, he's being super defensive. Saying that they wouldn't be asking those questions if they knew that they were married. And my thing is, how is that their fault? They're in the dark because you've left them there. So if they don't know your intentions, that's your doing. You haven't done anything to make up for the fact that you're keeping this huge secret. So again, I don't think that he's taking responsibility for what's happening. And this will continue later, both him and Joanne. But ultimately, they have no one else to be mad at but themselves. And so Noelle asks, so, like, what's the plan? Are you going to come visit the U.S.? Like, is she going to keep coming here? And he's like, well, I'm having some visa problems, so I can't go right now. Which is shady, right? Because it's like, what's going on? And Noelle is like, yeah, she told me that you have some issues, but, like, what's up with that? And what he says is, he overstayed his visa once. And so now he can't apply for one again, I think for like 3 years. I'm guessing that's like a probation period. I want to know, why did he overstay? Was it like a regular travel visa or was he there for someone else? Granted, that's not important anymore, but the toxica in me wants to know. But he says that he was very homesick, and so that leads me to believe that he was there because he felt like he owed it to someone. I don't think he would stay long for just a regular trip. The minute you feel homesick, you go home, right? But him saying this, the fact that he was homesick in the US, is sending sirens in Noelle's head because she's like, oh, so he doesn't feel comfortable in the US. So she's starting to get the vibe that Joanne is going to have to go more to Ireland, and she does not like it. And again, I told you guys that Joanne is losing the color in her face, but she also keeps stuttering through the convo. Again, guilty. So the next scene that we see of them is going on this castle tour. Sean set this up because he thought that it would be a crime if they went to Ireland and didn't visit a castle, which I agree. I love a castle tour. This looked beautiful. But he apparently has also reserved like the tea room. So after the tour, the time has come to stuff their faces. And the whole time, Sean and Joanne are just like, should we tell them now? And so Joanne in her one-on-one is like, we've been in our little bubble. Like, can't we stay in here longer? Like, I almost don't want to tell anyone. She doesn't get it. And the thing is, you guys, they're not being subtle. They keep looking at each other. They keep saying like, oh, we have something to tell you guys. And they have this nervous energy, which is making everyone else nervous. And her oldest, Joey, is like, spit it out. And Noelle, on the other hand, is like squinting because she's like, what are you about to tell me? And Joanne has possibly the worst approach to this ever. And it's also super insensitive because she's going into it downplaying the situation. She's like, so 2 years ago, we did a thing, a life-altering thing, mama. She tells them we're married, and the kids are like, you're kidding. Stop it. You're joking. Noelle is like, you're not married. Like, there's no way you would get married and not tell me. You wouldn't. Her little son is too stunned to speak. And his daughter is like, still processing as well. She's the youngest one in the room. Noelle, though, and her older son, Joey, clearly look betrayed. They're like, how could you keep this for 2 years? That's crazy. And her oldest son even says, she's always telling me that I can tell her everything. And she's been hiding this for 2 years? Like, I'm sorry. I have heard some things about what derails certain men from being good to women. And this is one of those things. If he doesn't work through this trauma that he was hit with, and I call it trauma because this is going to affect the way that he views the last 2 years with his mother. It's going to give him trust issues. He's going to feel abandoned. Like, there's so much in it. And I hope he talks through it with someone so that it doesn't have long-term impact in his life. Same for the little one, especially. So Sean has the sense to apologize to them because he recognizes that this is a shock. And at that point, the little one starts like tearing up because he's like you're married? And so does his little girl. And Sean looks so confused at this reaction. Honestly, you guys, Sean and Joanne are idiots because they are so shocked that their loved ones aren't just giddy. They said congratulations because ultimately they're loved, right? But it doesn't change the fact that you've been lying to us for 2 years and that this is a huge a moment in your life and you kept us away from it. Y'all had to come up with thousands of lies in the span of these 2 years to cover this one truth. And I just didn't appreciate that they were like, y'all aren't saying congratulations. They did say congrats when they were initially hit with this news, but you have to make space for their feelings. I don't care that you were in your love bubble. I think that you were in it for too long. I get you should consider your best friend, your mother, all that. But the people that I care most about are your kids. You should have figured out a way to have a conversation with them at most a month after your marriage. That's pushing it still. But 2 years is bonkers. And these two have to sit with the consequences of their actions, there may be some tension the rest of this week. They're going to have extra questions to ask you, and you need to handle it and you need to answer it with sensitivity, comprehension of where they're at, because they're young people, and you have to come clean with everything. You can't like drop this and then hold back 5 little lies. You have to come clean about everything. And I'm like dreading the next time we see them, because that's when Joanne is going to drop in like, yeah, so we're married. How do you feel? In the clip, the young boy, the 12-year-old, is like, so where are we going to live? And I want to see Joanne muster the cojones to tell her 12-year-old, well, I'm going to live in Ireland, if that's okay with you, and you're going to stay in New York with your daddy. That's going to be heartbreaking. And we're going to keep up with that. I would love to know your thoughts on this episode and this couple. Let me know. Sorry if I got a little heated, but I don't mess around when it comes to kids. Like, they didn't choose to be here. You owe them everything. They owe you nothing. And in my opinion, I think that they were very nice when they got that news. And you could tell that that older one wanted to say some words, but he was so respectful. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.